What's up, guys? It's your boy, Jim Rat Crip Cop. Nope, no funny jokes like that. It's your boy, Jim Rat Crypto. This is Crypto in the Morning live every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And Dipcatcher was coding all night, and I think he's on the West Coast, so he might not be coming on today, but he will be coming on later. I got a lot of things to talk about real quick, so let me have a sip of this water. Yummy. Tap water, Baltimore tap water. You gotta love it. But okay, we got a couple things going here. I've had an exhilarating morning. I walked to the gas station and there was but little criminal activity in the streets at 7 a.m. this morning. Definitely some, for sure some. But we made it there. We made it back, guys. Back at the crib, safe. I've been learning about providing liquidity like an absolute maniac, like a maniac. I'm not gonna, Sam, we got to stop giving away all our secrets. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm gonna have to stop giving away all these secrets because I'm learning too much too quick, and it's too explosive information. The only problem that can go wrong in my life is that the government shuts down Uniswap. I'm basically just hoping the government doesn't shut down Uniswap. There's a few people that say technically it's possible, but Ethereum's a little too in deep at this point as far as let's check the comments, guys, real quick. So let's talk about some LP. I'm just going to ask Sam questions about LP so I can please myself, because I want to, Sam, as you know, I'm building up a liquid ICOSA position, guys, and I've been looking at the Dex Guru trades on an LP providing on ICOSA USDC and ICOSA Hedron. And that's been exciting me to a degree. And I have enough to provide, I think, at least, to get started. You don't need that as much as I initially thought. But in the beginning, it's funny. They said you had to be a whale to provide LP, Sam. I do not forget. I will never forget the guys, the really smart guys with really, lots of good insight, telling me that only whales provided LP. What? A whale? You need $150 million to provide LP in liquid funds? No way. There's not even money in the liquidity pools. It's like no whales even provide liquidity clearly for a lot of these assets yet, at least. So I think it's all interesting conjecture. Chad, we're going to be talking your language today. LP is different than staking. It's not better than staking. Those are two different ways to accumulate wealth in two different. I disagree that LP is greater than staking. If you want a lot of money in 15 years from now, I would say Hex stake's probably the best premium there. But that's not 15 years from now? I'll be so lucky not to be dead. Just anyone. I could walk to the street. I got to watch my back like a hawk. Now, or maybe I'm just a paranoid son of a bitch, but Jesus, every day that goes by, all this information I'm learning about decentralized currency, I just want to stay alive. Just kidding, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. I am really, really trying to give Silver the Antidote some FOMO and to make him feel like he has to come on the show because I've been tweeting about him. So, guys, if you want Silver to come on the show, make sure you retweet this tweet and let them know. That's the pressure tweet on Silver, and it's already gotten 100 likes. So let's keep that one up, guys. We're going to switch over to Crypto in the Morning. Me and Sam are just going to have a rap tap, labby bap bap, and we're going to talk, all right? And we're going to talk about providing liquidity, how to make hundreds of dollars with $5,000, for example. I think it's fair to say you can make hundreds of dollars a day if you actually know what the fuck you're doing. It says not about trading at all. This is about paying attention, and we'll get more into it with Sam. So if LP is what you like to talk about, providing liquidity, making money with a stack of your liquid funds, a good amount too. The rate is ridiculous on some of these assets that I know you guys hold anyway. I know you guys hold Ethereum and Hex, and I know you guys hold Ethereum and Hedron, and I know you guys hold USDC because I do. And I'm not, I'm here. So guys, let's get to it. DeFi Proof, the greatest DeFi rapper in the history of the universe, Crypto in the morning, guys.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking no blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some hedge on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Jim Reddit sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Yo, what's good? How you doing? I love liquidity. I love.
Where's your mic? Is your mic right there?
There we go.
What's Gucci?
What's Gucci? How you doing, bro? This is good morning.
I'm doing pretty good. You know, this life that we live is a mystery every single day, but you just gotta do your habits over and over again and make little moves to progress in between.
I completely agree. The yield on the ICOSA Hedron pool for me went down. Day number 3, we've had 2 days in a row from the Hedron where you stake an ICOSA and you earn ICOSA. So the first 2 days it was the same, and day number 3 the yield has come down. That means more people have gotten into that pool moving forward. So I thought that was kind of interesting because people were talking about the ICOSA pool that happened in the ICOSA pool yesterday. It did not happen in the Hedron pool. Today, it did happen in the Hedron pool. So I wanted to point that out.
So explain it again for everyone. So I haven't looked. I think I looked this morning. I was happy with the ICOSA number I never looked at the rate or nothing, but I just saw the ICOSA number and I was like, woo, in 30 days, I'm going to LP that baby. That's all I was thinking. And I'm telling you, and get some USDC ready for the something. You guys want to hear some alpha? We'll get into it a little bit more later. But Sam, we're going to talk about those HSI auctions, and we're going to really focus. Please focus. Listen, if you're here and you're paying attention, and there could be 5 of you, 6 of you, 7 of you that are actively listening. These HSI auctions are the Super Bowl. Okay, the Super Bowl. You know how big the Super Bowl is? Everyone in the United States, like to me, to everyone in this Hex community, they should be thinking of this as the Super Bowl, but I think they're thinking of it as a little league game.
There is. Well, let's give some context on why those HSIs are so important. I've talked about this, but I think it needs to be reiterated because it's just not proliferating as fast as I would like in the ethos of this community, right? Where when you sell an HSI to the ICOSA contract, you're borrowing about 1% against that, right? So you sell it to the contract, you get your ICOSA, you're done. But the contract takes that HSI and they borrow. Hey, Bullish, can you pull up a $1,000 hex stake or something like that, and then see how much you'd be able to advance against that, just so we can get a more accurate number. I think it's around 1%, maybe it's 2%. You can actually pull your advance.
But just for the sake of the conversation, explain to people just the process, like no real numbers, just the process of what's going on here, because some of them are right on the cusp of understanding. And I need a couple of you guys, like Chris. I see you guys in here. This is not the episode where I want 346 viewers. Trust me. I don't care about all that shit. Some episodes are meant for that, but some episodes are meant for those guys that like this show. I really think it's important that you're paying attention right now, because a lot of these other streamers are starting to slide into saying, oh yeah, providing LP is cool. Well, I was watching all their videos for the last year. So I'm just saying, I understand you want the people that are learning in the moment all the time, not having those big gaps, because that's where you miss that alpha.
LP, we know somebody who made $1,000 in their $2,500 LP position. Let me say that again.
How was that? Who did that?
You know them very well.
Was it Billy? Billy Bully?
Well, if you check the chat, you'll see who it is. But they put in $2,500 into an LP position, and they made $1,000 in about 3 or 4 days. Think about that for a second. $2,500. You still have your $2,500, and you made $1,000 additional dollars. Cool. You can go earn 38% and lock your ship for 7 years. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a great thing. So many people don't have self-control when there's a lot of other things to consider here, but like the returns, I mean, like what you're 38% in 4 fucking days versus a year. It's insane. And
well, the price appreciation of the token is what people are going to leave, especially with Hedron. I mean, I can only, just because I've been thinking about the auctions and thinking about the burn rate a lot, and because that's what all the big brains are talking about in the telly. You know, it's just like, come on. I mean, what, 64 trillion Hedron's going to get burned? I think that's what the number they were throwing around last night. And I was just like, peace. And I was listening to a big streamer say they just built Icosa so people had somewhere to dump their Hedron. Like they didn't even know what they were talking about. They didn't even look into it. And it's getting hard for me to watch these guys because 99% of them have huge blind spots because it's hard to keep up. It is hard to keep up, but that's what we're best at here.
We have, so I have some Etherscan info here. This is from Sloth this morning when we were chatting. So you can go to the contract. So go to HSI contract, put in the contract, put I is a contract. And I don't fully understand what he said in his message here, but effectively he sent me a screenshot of this of Etherscan to basically see how many HSIs were sold to Icosa. We have a total of 3,277 currently as of like this, I'm assuming 45 minutes ago.
Day 3. This is day 3.
3,300. 3,300.
1,100 a day.
And then think about this for a second.
That's a lot.
And if
That's a lot of hex.
But think about the impact on Hedron is so bullish.
So okay, so tell. Okay, I know why I feel like Hedron's bullish, and just from start to bottom, right? A lot of the guys in here think that Hedron, because of the initial, they still think this. Trust me, there's a good majority of people think that Hedron's going to be sold forever. But if you could just compare the asset that you're absolutely in love with Icosa, you would understand that you can just get a bigger portion of the entire pool. And that's really all it comes down to. How much of a portion of the pool can you have? It doesn't matter how many coins. It doesn't matter whatever. But how much is the portion? Right now, getting a large portion of Hedron is phenomenally. And if you think that they have intrinsic value, Hex and Hedron, and all the sell pressure and the burn pressure and the absolute genius, masterful fucking chess playing of Alex, it's like this is going to get crazy, boy.
Mick Slammin says, so I have this screenshot here from Sloth this morning, but this is old data. Mick Slammin says that there's actually 3,400 now. So an additional 160 HSIs have been sold to the Icosa contract. Now, think about this, guys, for a second. So I don't know the specific value of this. I don't know if a person's building a tool for this to look up the total value of the HSIs that were sold or when the dates are, because that would be a very great tool. I'm trying to figure out how to do this so I can track it for myself. But you have 3,429 HSIs, and you borrowed 1% of Hedron value against those, right? So what does that mean? That means you had $1,000 hex stake and you borrowed $10 of Hedron against your $1,000 hex stake, right? That is getting dispersed to the people who are staking. Now, what happens in 90 days? Well, you're going to have assuming that the price of hex doesn't change, right? And it's already come down a little bit, so it's going to be different. But assuming that hex price is in this range, you're going to have about 100x increase in the Hedron needed to take these off the liquidation market. So let's run some numbers here.
Oh God, it's disgusting. And slow it down for a little bit. Slow it down for a second, because I know I'm right with you. I mean, I'm right with you. But like, I know that we've been looking at this stuff a lot. So it's, to be fair to the audience, let's just take a breather. Let me answer a couple questions and try to keep your thought right where it was. There was a few questions I could answer in here. So I don't know if this is a dumb question, but can you can you be profitable LP when markets are going down? I want to start providing liquidity. I'd like to address this right now. It's the easy one to address. When you provide liquidity, Hex Champion and everyone else in here, this is true. Just trust me. It's fine. You don't have to listen to these crazy narratives and permanent loss, scary words that people try to throw at you. They don't matter. This is between two assets that you're going to have either way. I want you guys to hear me. This is the way I do it, at least. Some people probably do it really crazy. But I like Hex, Hedron, Icosa, USDC, and whatever else I'm thinking about. And you understand that I will have bags of those coins anyway. Either way. I like having liquid bags. I like having stuff in there. But I like getting my yield, and that's what I do with most of my money. But understand, you're just earning fees. You're earning fees. So in a bear market, devastating bear market, if you believe those two assets will survive, that means not go to zero, and they will go back up, then you are just earning fees. You'll just end up with a lopsided bag. That's what impermanent loss is. Impermanent losses says, I used to have Hex and ETH. Now I only have a bigger bag of ETH, but I've earned all these fees. And that is the worst case scenario. That's the worst case scenario. You end up with a big bag of ETH, the second most highest appreciating asset in the history of mankind. Please, God, please, if I'm crazy, all you OGs in the chat, but I hear it. They're starting to talk about it because we're spilling the beans. I'm sorry to say it. They don't like it. I doubt I'm sure a lot of those guys were dealing with this, learning it, and we're speeding up that process because we don't give a fuck. Like, this is real. This is valuable. This is for real. People are struggling to pay their bills and shit, and they have thousands of dollars in funds in their decentralized wallets, and they aren't confident enough to understand the system yet. And yes, the yield will go down over time, but Pulse X, all these things, guys, you need to, the premium here is the understanding, in my opinion.
Bro, nicely said. I wanted to tie this in so people can try to really grasp the magnitude of what's happening right now. So we have about 3,450 HSIs that end the sold. So let's assume we'll take a look at one example and then we'll multiply it times that. Okay, so somebody takes a $1,000 HSI stake, right? Jim Morat takes a $1,000 HSI stake. It means $1,000 of underlying Hex, and he sells that to the Icosa contract, gets his Icosa, does his thing. What does the contract do now? Well, they borrow. Thank you for Bullish. You guys give a thumbs up and a bicep in the chat for this because Bullish pulled this up in the background. Okay. So for a $1,000 HSI contract, you get about 13,100,000 Hedron.
All right, one more time. So for me, because I was looking at it, say that one more time.
So a $1,000 HSI contract, you borrow about 13.1 million Hedron against that, which equates to about 3% of the value, less than 3% of the value. So what does this mean? On that single HSI contract that was sold to the Icosa contract, and then they borrow the Hedron against it. They borrow 3% against 1,000. Now, 90 days later, how much Hedron is actually needed? Well, the simple math here is that it's greater than a 33x if you assume prices are going to stay constant or relatively constant. Now, think about this. You have 13.1 million times 33. That means you borrowed 13 million Hedron, and in order to take that off the market, if it sells at $1,000 or close to $1,000, you need over 430 million Hedron, and that is one HSI for $1,000. As McSlammin just mentioned, there's 3,429. 3,429. So if you multiply that times 3,429, that means I don't even, there's just too many digits here. Like I don't even know how many digits this is. This is a ridiculous number of digits. I don't even know how many digits this is, but it's a stupid number. I don't have to try to recalculate this because it's so incredibly massive. 13 million times.
And we can talk about this with some of the big brains later if you want to hop on, and I can just get some of these guys that have been looking at this shit all day long.
1.5 trillion Hedron. And that's assuming that's making a couple assumptions here. What are the assumptions? Because
That's almost 1% of the supply.
right. Because what is the supply is
200 trillion. 200
Is it-
trillion.
I think it's 90 trillion. I think it's 90 trillion. Hey guys, what's the supply?
So that's like 2%. If it's 90 trillion, it's 2%. If it's 200 trillion, it's less than 1%. Right under 1%.
Okay, so I think it's about 1.5% of the supply that goes away. Right?
Yeah, so that's probably 150 trillion roughly. Or no, 100. You're close to
I think
it.
it's 88. I think it's 88
Yeah,
trillion. I think it's 88 trillion. I think is the max supply. But here's the thing. Can you explain the concentration part?
Yeah, what do you mean the concentration part?
Well, let's finish this Hedron thing, and then Hex Champion 369. We will get into that. I have pulled up something on that, so we can touch on a little bit more. So, assuming that these HSI contracts, GRC, do you believe that $1,000 HSI contract, how much do you think that'll sell for on the liquidation market? Do you think it will sell for it's worth $1,000? Do you think it will sell for $1,000, or do you think it will sell for like $900, or do you think it will sell for less than that?
I think it'll be right under premium, probably like 9% under premium. Maybe it would feel like normal.
So between say $900 and $1,000. Mm-hmm. I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you guys think?
I'd love to hear what you guys think too. What do you think about? I just see like people wanting to do it because of the speculative nature, and like that 10% premium is almost a fee to some people. If you know what I mean, like it's just like I know that when I cashed in my HSIs for ICOSA that I wasn't going to get a huge premium on that. I had a feeling, right? But I wanted to do it in case there was super volatility, right? Like I was like, you know what I mean? So let's see what this 91 trillion Hedron. Thank you, Abit. You are the GOAT. Can't wait to see you in Vegas.
That's over.
Are you going to be in Vegas, Abit? I forgot to ask you. I know you said you were on the fence because you were so far away, and it's okay, obviously, if you're not. Sorry.
No, that's good. So thank you, Abit. So that means about 1.3 or something % of the supply is going to be needed, or around 1% is going to be needed to buy back those HSIs, assuming the prices are constant. Now,
Sam, there's no liquidity.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Liquidity. I bought $500 worth of Hedron yesterday. There was 3.99% slippage.
$500. Okay, cool. So this is awesome. Remind me to talk about the slippage when we talk about concentrated.
The slippage just fucking pisses me off, though. What am I going to do? Buy $100 at a time?
Well, maybe it makes sense.
If the fees are low, it just depends on the fees. If the fees are like $20, then I'm probably just going to defer. You know, like it does add up over time. You make a lot of moves, you know.
Well, think about this, though. There is a 54.5 trillion T points. So can somebody tell me what that equates to in the pool for ICOSA? This is the question. How much Hedron is locked in the pool in ICOSA? That question. Somebody else can have the answer.
I can. Don't ask it again. I'm asking the Telegram anyway. If one of them doesn't answer, so one more time. How
much Hedron is locked in the ICOSA contract for the staking pool? I want to know what that is. So think about this. We have
we'll get the answer in a minute if they don't got
1% of the supply is going to be needed if they sell close to market value in 90 days to purchase these. Now that removes 1% of the supply. All boom, just like that, right? But then also, depending on how much is actually staked in the Hedron, in the Hedron pool on ICOSA, if there's another 1% there, then that pulls 2%. 2% of the supply of Hedron is off the market, right? Because in the ICOSA staking pool, that shit's locked up. Like my shit's locked up for 90 days. And I'm going to continue adding to it, which means it
and a lot of people did that, by the way. So if there's people in here that were thinking about staking their stuff and they didn't, just know that, you know, if your premium's not going to be that good no matter what, like if it's that small, you might, there is the end stake penalty is rather, I mean, it's just like Hex where it accumulates to 50% and then your principal. And up until then, it's the exact same rate. So you lose a lot if you end stake. So do not end stake your shit. I repeat, do not end stake your shit. You will lose all of it. All of it. Basically all of it, but 1%. And then, 1% a day. or whatever the percentage is.
Sloth, is that 12 trillion hedron in the ICOSA pool? Is that what you're saying? I just want to clarify that because he might have answered our question.
That sounds about maybe correct, but I think that's probably what he was referring to.
If that is, think about what Abit just said. Abit said there's 91 trillion in the total supply. So you take 91
That's gross, brother.
That's 13% of the total supply locked up in 3 days.
Holy shit.
People don't understand this. This is why I'm accumulating.
And there's no liquidity.
That's why I'm buying every single day in tiny little amounts. Every single day I'm buying hedron in small amounts. There's
no liquidity, dude. This thing is going to blow. Bro, dude, new people. Sam is new people. You got to understand this too. Like new people as far as into the network. Sam's just figuring out where to spread his money out because, you can only, he's just getting involved. Been about 100 days now, and he's really deep now. He's balls deep. And he finding out this stuff. I forgot what the fuck I was saying, but like this is critical information. And if you are watching this show and you do enjoy this show, just know like this is me and Sam's life purpose and mission is to provide information like this. We like to do this. This is what we did with every subject that we've ever learned in our lives. We've wanted to give out the most top tier information until there's nothing else to give out. But the thing about crypto is it never fucking ends, ever. So if you're watching Crypto in the Morning, just understand this is going to be the premier place for fucking alpha. I study all day long. You know what I do for workouts now? I fucking do 300 push-ups and 100 pull-ups and a fucking shit ton of dips until it hurts so bad that I can't even breathe. And I get right back on my computer. And I go back at it, dude. And that's what I want to do. Like, I do not want, personally, for where I am in my journey, I don't want to be partying right now. I did a lot of that stuff. It's not what I want to do at this moment. But that doesn't mean that that's your part of your journey either. Like some people work for like 40 fucking years. Like you can take a breather if you want. Like I'm just, that was my quick
No, yeah. So to put this into context of like how impactful I believe this is going to be. Right, we've had Sloth and Bob. Thank you guys. Appreciate both of you and the information. There's about 13 trillion hedron locked up. That's 13% of the 14% of the total supply of hedron is locked up in the ICOSA contract. We're going to need. This means we're going to need about 1.2% of the total supply of hedron in 90 days to take those off of the market. So what is that going to do with the people who want to buy those exercises? They are going to come in buying furiously, and they're going to need to buy around 1% or continue to accrue. But the only thing is about that, people are myopic. That's a fancy word for saying fucking nearsighted. They think about like today. They don't think about tomorrow, 6 months from now, 8 months from now. And then 3 months from now, we're going to have to, there's going to be a massive influx of people who want to take these HSIs off the market, and there's not going to be enough supply. Please shout me out if I'm wrong, but like I'm building my bag around this position. Let's get into Crypto Sloth's video where he was going over some of the questions.
Hell yeah. Don't, now that you're a big 1,000-pluser, Sloth, don't nuke my video, all right? With copyright. No, I'm kidding. But, real quick, I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I have it on full audio so I can hear. This is absolutely incredible. All of this is to me personally, it feels really like, it feels like I made it for some reason. Like, it's a long journey from buying your first fucking hex stake, bro, getting hacked. I got hacked for 40 grand straight up. And I was a noob. And I never missed a day streaming after that, ever. And I said, I am going to make sure that I know more than anyone. And that is exactly what I'm trying to do. So don't get it twisted, guys. Like, you might just think we're like kind of sharp, random guys. Like, no, we want to go in. We're going all the way in. And if you want to enjoy this ride with us, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure you share this content out, because I'm going to be here every day for a long time. And you see how, my haters end up once they come on the show, they disappear. So there's a reason that it is, because nobody wants to talk to me and Sam. It's a disgusting proposition if you are a liar. It hurts like hell. So people that are liars will not probably show up on this show too much. All right, let's get back into it with this video. I'm excited to I'm so bullish on Hedron, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, same. It's crazy.
Nice picture of Alex, by the way, with the Hedron. Can somebody make something like this for me and Sam, please?
I'm just gonna go over them, and I got one nice like kind of stream of numbers that I think you guys are really gonna like, and that I'm really excited about. So here's some stuff. So for the Hedron pool, about 12 trillion Hedron, which as of current price is about $28 million, is staked. And what that means is we got about 12 trillion Hedron that is taken off the market at least for 30 days. The majority of it probably for more than 30 days. And so that's just $28 million of sell pressure taken away. Congratulations, guys. Hedron is a little less dumpable now. For those people who are worried about the dumpability of Hedron, we have $28 million of supply taken off the market. And of course, as price goes up, that will go up as well, which is pretty cool. Now we also have the ICOSA supply here. So there are two different numbers that I took a look at. The liquid amount of ICOSA, so that's the amount of ICOSA in liquidity pools or people's wallets, just ICOSA coins that exist, is about 654,000. And then, but in the stake pool, there's 7 million. So there's like, over 10 times the amount of ICOSA that was minted in these first 2 days have been staked. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So the vast majority of ICOSA is being staked, and there really isn't much out there on the market to be buying. And what's really cool is if you guys have paid attention to the price, it's been holding its peg to its fair value pretty well. Like it's at, we don't have much data. We had 2 days, but the supply or the price has been holding to that arbitration point, and the chart's looking kind of like a stable coin chart, which is really, really cool. So far so good. Let's see. And there were only 860 wallets or 860 holders of this token. So yeah, that's not a lot of people, Congratulations, everybody who has ICOSA, because you are a top 1,000 wallet automatically. Everybody's a top 1,000 holder as of right now. But yeah, so because of this liquid number, the 654,000, if you just stake 6,540 ICOSA, that's going to get you a whale length stake. So that'll be a 360-day lockup period. And then 654 will then be a shark, 64 would be a dolphin, 6 then it would only take about 6 to get a squid position. So not that much ICOSA actually. These actually, Chris, I'm not sure about that, to be honest. I'm not sure if it includes the staked addresses or not. It might not. But presumably any of the addresses. Oh yeah, so it would increase if any addresses staked everything and then didn't have any liquid. So you could plus or minus, 10, 15% if you want to say like 10% of everybody staked everything and didn't hold anything liquid. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so it doesn't take much ICOSA to get a long lockup period, which is pretty good because most of the staked ICOSA is locked up for a long period of time. Which, I've heard some concerns or some questions about like, hey, like once this ICOSA stuff starts coming out, won't it just start dumping because people will sell their yield? And the answer to that is yes, people will dump some of the yield that are locked will be dumped. But looking at these numbers right now, that 654,000 liquid supply, if it stays somewhere around there, then most of the stuff is locked up for quite near a year.
Will you pause this for 1
so it's
second?
going to be a long time before we start seeing significant amount of.
When you think about this relative to Hedron, I see this flipping to a deflationary token, right? Everybody's thoughts were that it was only inflationary and it was hyperinflationary. And it was hyperinflationary to the whales in hacks that are just dumping it. They didn't care for it until the past 3 days, right? Now, if there's any modicum of success to ICOSA, that means if anybody actually ever uses it beyond just intro period right now.
Yeah, which we don't have to read between the lines there, guys. I'll fucking use it right now. Right, like I'm ready. Like it's good. I can feel it. Like it's got that power on it. People
And-
want to use it. I looked at the Dex Guru buys and sells for a fucking hour. Plus green, plus green, plus green, plus green, USDC ICOSA.
And this, if this firm turns deflationary, say over the next 6 to 18 months, I mean, like the amount of impact that could have on the price of Hedron is a order of magnitude larger than the impact that it would have on Hex. Meaning that's going to be a 10x difference at least. Because Hex to go from 6 cents, 5.5 cents to 55 cents, that's a lot of additional people that need to come in.
Well,
When
it's
you-
well, yes, 100%.
A small amount, but still a lot more than what
A
needed.
small amount if you're talking to a different group of people too. Like it depends who you're asking, telling that question to. There's some
But
guys that buy
it just-
NFTs for a living, and
Compare
they've never
to
seen
Hedron.
liquidity in their life. And like, but yes, comparatively, but at the same time, like probably more likely. You know, it's hard to even say it's more likely for a whale to come into Hex than a new whale than to ICOSA. I would say it's hard to even calculate at this point because now it's like maybe if they're digging, like it's crazy what can happen. There's not a lot of liquidity though, so I think it's fair to say like the amount that people. I don't know, Sam. Can you tell me about that a little bit?
No.
Because if I have $100,000, let's say I'm a new investor. Seriously, let's say I'm a new investor, but I get all this shit and I'm just like from another chain and I'm coming in and I want to know what's up and I'm talking to you 101 paid consultation or whatever. I'm like, I got a fucking $100,000 right now. Where are you going with it? And I'm not saying you can have more than one strategy, but just like if you were just trying to be safe, but like fucking major gains, like what would you say? And let's say this guy was rich already.
Well, I would probably split it into, 3 or 4 different buckets, where a portion of that would just go into a Hex stake, like probably 10 to 25% would go into a Hex stake at some point in the future, whether it's 1 year or 8 years or whatever the case is.
Just to feel like you secure some of that primary real estate that, because, there is a lot of what ifs in this world and Hex maybe has a little less than some others.
Yeah, and it could go away, but it seems like it probably won't go away as quickly as some other things that will go away. So put away some of that, 10%, maybe 15% to that, maybe 20 or 30% into LP. I would build a tiny little bag of Maxi just so that I can, if I want liquidity, it's going to sit above the price of Hex, right? And then I'm far like the bullishness on Hedron and the impact this is going to have on Hedron. I would continue to DCA into Hedron for at least for the next probably 120 days.
If you wanted speculative gains only, would you put most of that into Hedron and liquidity, or would you put that mostly into Hedron and ICOSA kind of stuff at this moment?
Hedron. I wouldn't even do much ICOSA unless it was just to force myself to accumulate more Hedron by buying some ICOSA and staking it, and then earning more Hedron because
if that bag was significant enough. Yeah, where you were feeling like you were getting a good. Again, these numbers are going to. The reason staking is so powerful is because generally humans can't hold through real pumps. Like holding through real pumps is hard. It's not hard to hold when things are going sideways, guys. You ain't doing shit anyway. That's why providing LP is so lit, because it's just like sideways gains. But it's like in general, when these pumps come and the guys that have 200 million Hedron staked, 1 billion Hedron staked, 2 billion Hedron staked, when you see that number go up and roaring and it's locked in there, you're going to have a better feeling about it because it's better to have it locked up sometimes, and for some guys that are inexperienced, getting a little less of a premium on yield, but having stuff locked up where you are actually earning yield, it's about holding that appreciating asset. It's about not losing. Really, at the end of the day, all this yield is just fun money compared to the premium of inflation and the gain of the coin. So when in the back of your mind, just remember, you don't want to lose the golden goose. You don't want to not have your crypto when the market pumps. You can make $200 a day, but you can miss out on $100 million if you're completely clueless. Like if you're completely clueless, you can. I bet you people have done it over and over again. But that's why me and Sam were so clinical about it, because we're just not willing to have too many blind spots here. We didn't talk about this shit day one. We talked about it day 120 because it took us time. It really did. I'm not just going to sit here and say, Sam was bringing up LP in the beginning. I just told him, can you please hold your brakes for a week or so? Can I just learn? And yeah, obviously no issue. We just got on with it. But now we're at this point where it's like, there's optionality for everything in crypto. Like you can do you want money now? Okay, that's fine. Do you want money for your grandkids? We got that. You know what I mean? Do you want to have tradable value like within this ecosystem where you're just earning trustless yield constantly, but you can still have tradable assets just like basically at the click of a finger? Or, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Tell people, I don't know if you mentioned it in this video or before we got on, how much was the slippage for Hedron yesterday when you bought a couple?
4.99%. Or it was either I think it might have been 3.99% for $500.
$300. I'm sorry, $500. You have 3+% slippage, guys.
Yeah, that's weak stuff. Can we fix that? Isn't there some rich motherfuckers in here that could fix that? Alex, can you help?
Well, no, it's because there's no.
No, I know. Can't they just provide it? Like, aren't they?
Imagine somebody trying to come in and buy Hedron.
Not going to happen.
Take these hex fakes away.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen. They're going to do little ones at a time. That's the problem here. What can we scale on this? Rich people, you're in the chat. Can you fucking do this? Like, or send me your money and I'll do it.
Add some liquidity and we'll buy it off.
Seriously, add some liquidity so I can't even show your shit, bro. Like it's like, I mean, I'll buy it, but like I know the game. Like not everyone knows the game. I got a couple guys. What if I had 150 guys with 10 grand? Like, and I was like, oh, we're all gonna buy Hedron. I was like, oh, you're gonna eat 9%. Like, it's like, whoops, GRC's a scam artist. Like, I don't want that.
If you ever think about this though, how powerful it is. If you say you have 100 guys that each puts in 10 grand or more, and they just eat up all the liquidity over the next 120 days. I mean, that's taken a lot off the market, right? Because they continue to purchase more and more and more, and they're effectively the floor underneath Hedron. And then when the people come in 90 days, so they'll probably start accumulating about 30 days out, and it's going to be crazy, I believe, personally. I would love to see, if I'm wrong,
and
you guys can clip this.
Clip this shit. I'm pissed off now because I beggeth you, if Hexo, if you're watching this show, please understand that Richard likes this product. This product is good for Hex, and that you should learn about it because you could probably fucking literally make an ton of money in residual income. And I think because he doesn't like to talk about it because he doesn't think it's an RH product or whatever. He's like, I only like RH stuff, but he's also self-admittedly rich and doesn't give a fuck. Like he's like, I got a family. I just talk about what I want kind of guy. So you got to give him fair play for that. Like totally fair play. Like he can talk about whatever he wants, but I'm telling him just for the viewership, his people, like I think there's a lot of cool opportunity here. And if you ever want to talk about it, I'd love to come on the show and talk about it.
Let me see if I can.
I think his mic's working, but I'm not 100. I'm not. Oh, $500 is currently 1.19% slippage. Is that Uniswap? What was I? I think I was on Uniswap. Good catch. That's good. That's better. That's way better. But still, $500 is really low. But I mean, that 1.19% slippage is to be expected, probably. What's slippage on like a really fat asset?
Slippage on Hex for $500 is close to zero, bro. There's
Hex
no
liquidity too. Like people
correct.
People don't like Hex.
Hex has a boatload of liquidity in relation to Hedron.
But that's what I'm saying. That's also part of the, is that part of the pumpamentals though? Is that just okay?
Yes.
Hold on. I gotta ask you all the way because I think I just connected those dots for the first, not the first time, but like all the way. The low liquidity, the nagging feeling that you get when rich people can't buy is the same thing that when one rich dude buys is going to make the whole thing go fucking up forever. So it's like yeah, we're kind of just waiting on one guy to figure out. So like I feel like I could do that myself. This is how this all works. Now I see it. I could just find all my friends and just fucking, you know what I mean? Like if I really wanted to, if I had a product and I really like, if I was willing to put my fucking reputation on this shit for life, which I'm really not, like, I mean, you know, I'm learning just like everyone else. I could get guys in my community to get $1 million and probably buy if I was that passionate, and that would explode the price. But again, you can't really sell that much.
No, but then what does that give you the ability to do? To buy HSIs?
Pump and dump. But but in this system, it's done correctly.
You could buy HSIs and then get ICOSA and stake that and just earn more Hedron, or you can let other people buy that and then drive up bags. Like there's like a gigantic lake, a body of water of liquidity for Hex. For Hedron, there is a tiny itty bitty little cup of water of liquidity. There is a massive difference in the amount of liquidity between Hedron and Hex. And if you understand that, 3,500 HSIs.
I like this one. Tap on your mic 3 times. Yeah, it's not registering.
Hey, Bullish, why isn't this connected? Do you know why?
You just got to go to settings. It's going through your AirPods.
Yeah, go to your settings, click on the gear icon, and make sure that mic is active.
It's going through your earbuds.
Is that better?
No, it's not that he doesn't like Hedron. It's that he doesn't talk about it. And if someone comments about it, he like will boot them out of his chat. It's like literally. But I didn't even know that. You're good there. Yeah, I didn't even know that. I watched the show yesterday. People bring up ICOSA. He didn't even talk about it. I was like, dude, ICOSA's the best, bro.
Yeah, he says it. He says it flat out. He's a Hex maxi, so that's the only thing he's going to talk about on his streams.
I know, but like this is like a product that was made to pump Hex.
Hey, it's all right, bro. It's our time now.
I know, but it's confusing. It's just a confusing concept to me. I'm like, you only support RH products, but RH supports Hedron, and it's built on Hex.
Hey, Brizology. I think that Hexo should continue to talk shit because then we can keep anybody who pays
shit. He's not talking shit. He's just talking not.
Okay, so whatever. Pushing people away from it might be a better way to say it, right? Yeah. A more accurate way of saying it.
And maybe he's helping us to lay up.
That is correct. That is absolutely. He just passed the ball to us that allows us to accumulate more Hedron. 100%.
Thanks, Hexo. That is true too. But thanks. But Hexo's an amazing dude for sure. Like I like Hexo. I watch his streams and they're funny as shit.
He's been on here. He's a good dude.
I could watch Hexo read comments all day long, like passively, and I would just laugh because it's hilarious. He's so good at like interacting with the comments and shit. But let's go back to the sloth video for a minute. And he said the next slide is a money one. So if you want to play that, whatever.
Got 3,277 HSI sold in these first 2 days. That's pretty sweet. You know, there was a lot of talk about why would anybody want to give up hex stakes for ICOSA? And now we have it locked in. We have 3,277 hex stakes locked in the contract that are 100% in 90 days or 89 days now going to the liquidation auction. And Hedron will be burned. It's happening, guys. It's not a maybe. It's not a theoretical. It is reality. And so, yeah, the total T-shares is about 29,000 T-shares. That's crazy, guys. And I went ahead and calculated the potential amount of Hedron that could get burned in that on that big liquidation day. Now, keep in mind, these numbers that I say, it might not all happen in one day. 3,277 stakes is a lot. And so everybody might not be able to, it's really hard to keep up with all of this. So maybe all the first bids won't be made, but maybe they will because a lot of people will be paying attention to it. And, amongst all that chaos, like it's possible you could scoop some cheap deals, like something that goes under the radar that nobody else sees. You may be able to get a super cheap hex stake, which if you really wanted to, you could throw back into the HSI buyback and get ICOSA if you really want to.
Pause that for 1 second. I'm sorry, Bush.
Sorry.
Thank you. So what Sloth just mentioned is
in 90 days roughly, we're going to have all these stakes that come up for liquidation. Some of them might go underneath the radar. What do I mean by that is that you might have a $700 HSI stake that is selling for $400. So what you could do is hold on to that, and just be like, hey, I just got a big discount on my Hex stake. Or you could take that thing that you just bought for $400 that's worth $700, put it back into Icosa and get your $700 out, and then take that $700 and go buy another stake or put it back in there to stake it again. You can do these HSIs can be flipped 20, 30, 40, 50 times.
And a lot of guys also, Sam, that do have exposable income, but also over leveraged themselves into the Hedron pool before they knew that it was locked. It was really locked, and it is really locked. So it's not forever though. It's for less than half a year if you have a big bag, I think. So just remember, a lot, including myself. I wish that personally my bag's not big enough where I made a little boo-boo by staking maybe a little too much, but it'll pay off in the long run, of course. But again, sometimes those are little boo-boos when you're still making yield. Like it's great to make a boo-boo and stumble into like life-changing gains. So it's just remember, don't pay attention very closely. There's a lot of nuanced detail here, and there's a lot of opportunity coming up. So, and if you're watching this channel and getting involved with the Crypto in the Morning crew, like it's gonna be explosive.
I was gonna show that. Okay. Let's see. So 29,000 T shares. So 29,000 T shares. The amount of advanceable Hedron that you get is 161 billion. So we automatically have a solid shark position for the amount of advanceable Hedron, and that's the minimum amount that's going to be burnt. So at the very least, 161 billion Hedron is going to be burnt on that day or multiple days. Now, as we know, Hex stakes have been going for much more Hedron than like the initial bid has been going for. Like we've seen like single like 1 to 5 share T shares go for like a couple billion Hedron, which is really cool because there could be a multiple, or there's a high probability of a multiple being added on top of this 161 billion. Now we can actually estimate this number a little bit with the Hedron fair value price. And so Hedron right now is about an 83x away from its fair value. And so that's the dollar value of a B share divided by the average stake length. And what that number actually does is calculate the average cost for each stake. So it is like the theoretical value that Hedron should be, but also at the same time, it's like how much is average, how much is.
What was that?
He just said fair value price is 83 times.
I know. I want to ask.
Hey, doesn't that make sense? It makes sense though. Like that's why we're all so excited. Like he's doing the calculations for us. Thank God. But it's the reason we have ear-to-ear grins is because it's like if you look at the numbers in the pools and like the amount of participation, it's still very low. It's a lot of Hex and a lot of Hedron, but like it's low in numbers of people, which is a good number for me. And I'm just 83x from here would be fair value price, where holding sideways would be like calculate. You know what I mean? Like it's just, and we have all these explosive catalysts attached to it, like the HSI auctions, which some people are saying is like big payday for fucking Hedron.
The impact, we've been talking about this for 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row, because of the impact of this. Hedron, relative to what is about to happen, is so undervalued, in my opinion, right? It's so extremely undervalued relative to what's about to be taking place. Like I wouldn't be surprised if over the next 6 to 12 months.
And it got oversold hard.
If there's 100x increase on Hedron, I'm not saying there will be, but I wouldn't be slightly surprised if we see that. Not necessarily in 90 days, but over the course of, say, the next 90 to 12 months. 90 days to 12
I think 10x easy is just in the cards for certain months. Like if you're holding this asset and the pressure gets off of the macroeconomic system, like there's a lot of pressure in that way too right now. People are feeling it a little bit. People don't have the money they used to, but trust me, you can pull some money out of your ass And like people do it, and people make these moves, and it doesn't take much. This is what Richard's been talking about the whole time, man. He's been trying to spell this out for us, the tight liquidity. He's like, this is how you get rich in crypto. Like, he's not telling you how to build an airplane. You know what I mean? He's telling you how to get rich in crypto. You buy assets that have low liquidity, you find the ones that work, and you fucking hold that shit until the gains, just based on the price appreciation because of the low liquidity of the asset, are so high that you can sell just a little bit and your whole life's changed.
Like, think about that. If you have say $10,000 and you have a 100 or 1,000x increase, well, you got $1 million or $10 million there, right? You have from $10,000. So you sell off your $10,000 and you still have all that money in there, or sell off 25% of it and put some into some other stuff or whatever you think. I mean, this is virtually no liquidity here.
And I virtually spent $0 on Hedron, and I'm participating in all of this stuff other than yesterday. But even before yesterday, I bought like fucking $200 worth of Hedron, and it was like my whole bag. And it was when there were 7 zeros, and I just was like, well, if something happens in the future, this would be nice. And it's my free claim plus that ended up being a nice amount to get completely involved. Like completely earning ICOSA, earning, over $20, $30 a day in ICOSA easily without even like getting started, just like poking around. It's a really fun opportunity because you can earn yield the whole time as well. And the speculative nature of these assets is ridiculous, dude. It's ridiculous. I just wish more people knew about this, but I don't really. It's like it's unfortunate. Once you get really deep in the game, you realize what you realize. Like, you can't know what you can't know. Can't know what's not in front of you, and this information is just not portrayed to the masses, and it really can't be, because once it is, it's another game, and I'm rich already, and I don't give a fuck. Well, in 10 years, 20, you know what I mean? Like, whatever the time frame is, it's like at some point I'm going to be rich enough to want to chill with my children and want to, you know what I mean? Like, at some point, not to be like neurotically staring at my computer would be like a hopeful place to be. I'd still hope I was effective in whatever I was doing. But, this is like a young man's game. It's hard to say because, Sam, our lives are a bit different as far as what we spend our time doing. Is that fair to say? Are we a little different like that?
I mean, I view myself as different than a lot of people. I'm sure there are people out there who are similar to me, but like the people who tend to know me like very close know that I'm very good. In terms of being a good person, how a lot of people might view that. But at the same time, like, I'm doing my own thing all the time. And that's not something that most people do, right? Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I think it's a good thing. I think more people should be selfish in the sense that they should not give a shit what other people think, and they should do what's best for them. Period. I told a buddy of mine yesterday that he should do
what
whatever.
If they're doing shitty? Like, what if they're kind of doing half-ass work?
For what? What do you mean?
Like, what if the value, like, they're doing what's best for them, but they're doing half-ass work? Like, like it's like, I can do what's best for me. Like, just
let's dive into that. Let's dive into that. Right. So somebody is doing what's best for them, and they're doing a shitty job of that. Now let's dive into that specific piece, is what you just said, right? If I understood you correctly. If I am doing what's best for me, does it ever make sense to not do the best I can do in the thing that I'm doing and not do a shitty job? No. Right. Because my future builds
incentivization on like it being about you.
Yeah, somebody's fucking
like it's not about what you're doing, but it's about what you're doing means something to you.
And if somebody's that dense to think that doing a shitty job on doing the thing for themselves is an intelligent long-term play,
but I feel like
they're fucking
do their
stupid.
Jobs and they just hate it. But because when I was doing my job, and I had a fucking sick job, but even after 3 or 4 years, dude, I fucking hated it. And I didn't want to do it anymore. And I didn't give a fuck. And I didn't care about the detail. And I wanted to care about something. I wanted to, trust me. And it had nothing to do with my employer or anything. It's none of my business what that's going on with that. But I was like, what do I do? And I was like, I can only work in an environment where I can call the shots. I don't know why. I don't know if I have a problem but like, it seems like so many people are just willing to give their lives to someone else. and to really wrap their entire days around what other people are doing. And what they're doing is not even effective. It's not even good. The whole company's not even good. I don't care what company it is. They're all trash, except like 4. Like Tesla's lit. Like if you get a job at Tesla or like one of these amazing companies, like cool. But that's not going to happen. Probably. Just by numbers. It's crazy, but what do you think about that, Sam? Like why we talk about the Great Resignation, and it's something that I really touched with me, that people are resigning their jobs to create whatever they can because the premium's higher there now. So what do you think about what's going on? Like what is occurring right now, Sam? People are quitting their jobs. I could literally just stop paying my mortgage. They wouldn't even fucking fine me. Like, it's like the company's so shit when my mortgage, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
Well, I believe maybe because of like all the different pieces that we see coming together, that we went through a very good time for a long period of time. And there's that cliche saying that hard times like breed, strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create bad times, or something along those lines. And the sequence goes through that over and over again. We were in good times for a long time, so there's a lot of fucking weak ass pussies out there. And now we're going through a time of a lot of corruption, a lot of exposure for bad players, both in companies and in individuals like celebrities and whatnot, and in individuals in businesses, and especially in the government, right? All of this stuff is getting exposed. And you need to create more strong men and women to stand up. And we're going through this. And why would somebody work for somebody else if they have a better value prop in doing something else that creates more freedom and optionality in their life? Right?
But people don't even want that sometimes.
The freedom,
the optionality, with to say that's kind of stressful. At least like there is stress involved in optionality. Like my life's rather stressful, but in a weird neurotic self pressure kind of way. I put a lot of pressure on myself, like I always have. It's never been about, I'm like, if I don't show up, what the fuck what are people gonna say? I want to be the best I can be. Certainly. And I've always had that pressure on myself from the time I was just a little boy. Like I just didn't know how to get it out. And now it's like crypto is the perfect place to get it out because it's very long. It never ends.
And we have more of those people leaving the workforce, doing their own thing. If you guys,
it's not always easy though, guys. So don't get it twisted. Like you got to be an inspired little shit.
But it's way more fulfilling.
Oh my God. Change your life.
Way more fulfilling. When I say optionality, if you look at option payoffs, right? So if you look at a stock payoff, you hold a stock and it just goes up, right? Like, well, crypto has a similar to an option payoff where like during a certain period, there's nothing right here, but then there's a 45-degree angle and it just goes up and to the right very, very quickly. And it's a leverage position. So it goes very, very quickly. Crypto gives you like that optionality where that $1,000 could have 1,000x and now you have $1 million and changes your life like completely for a lot of people. So when you choose to do your own thing, a lot of people probably shouldn't unless they're fully aware of like the mental struggles that you need to go through to grow as a person, to be the leader, to all these things in your life.
It's agony for years and you don't even know it. You don't even know what's going on at the time. Like it was so rough for so long. And I just was mental anguish, man. Like just what do I need to do? I'm a man. I need to do man stuff. I need to pursue something. What do I do? I could not figure out what to do. I kept getting in trouble. I kept getting arrested. I kept doing drugs. I couldn't think, but all I needed was an outlet, a passion-driven outlet. And I knew it the whole time. I was looking for it. I remember asking my dad, I was just like, when I was a kid, like, what the fuck am I going to do, man? Like, what am I going to do? And he's like, you'll figure it out. He's like, you'll figure it out. You will. You tell me. He's like, I figured it out. And he's like, I didn't, it happens if you just have a little bit of faith and you just keep working. And that's basically was his motto. Like, you just got to kind of believe that the world will provide it to a degree, in a way, if you're really going at it. if you're going at it. You have to be believing that, like, when you go to bed, you have to be like, I went at it today. Like, I feel that way. Like yesterday, for example, I was studying LP till the second I dropped. I was doing push-ups from the second I woke up. Just pushing up, baby, till my ears were ringing. Seriously, I do push-ups until my ears ring. Like, and that's when I know when it's time to go. Stop a little bit. But it's we have a lot, guys. This channel, Bullish, you want to come on? And I don't want to say anything incriminating, so
What's up?
just tell everyone that to get excited, a little pumped up.
Get excited. We're wrapping things up with the Crypto Fitness Challenge, and we'll have updates on that. And then after that, immediately we're gonna upgrade this channel in a massive way. We've been dropping hits about a private group, so just stay tuned. We have a lot of exciting things coming up.
And then we have a little clip here, I think, to play. So we're gonna play this little clip.
Just to make everyone, just lighten the mood. Let's laugh a little bit before we sign off. I'm sure some people in the chat already seen this, but for those who didn't, this thing was hilarious. And I think it'll help take the edge off of what's going on.
Don't outro right off the end, but yes, I don't know what this is. I want to laugh.
Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En las chanclas. Todo despeinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme las chanclas y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea. ¿Y tú? ¿Tú? Había subido la marea con triple paella. Y la encontré porque estaba la paellera agarrada metida entre las piedras de chipiones del faro. Y cuando entro en el restaurante me ve el cocinero con una paellera y adentro la vende paellera. ¡Ándale, mira dónde llega el agua! Llegaba el agua hasta el restaurante. Había subido la marea. ¿Y tú? ¡Ay, qué hacemos ahora! Con los 2 sacos de arroz. ¡Ay, llama para Sevilla! ¡Llama a Sevilla!
Oh my
¡Ay, tú y yo con el bañador y con la paella! ¡El cocinero! No veas, a Sevilla. Y al último, que cuando ya salió la bien de regla, estamos llorando los dos. Me cobró el tío la paella. Me cobró a 500 metros la paella. Y ya no fui más. Me fui andando a coger los amarillos hasta hoy. Me mandó por la noche. Había bajado más el agua y por la mañana había subido.
Oh man, what a great clip. What a fantastic clip.
Dude, what did it say about Joker? That was fun. All I saw is it said Joker. I saw
Joker had a midlife crisis.
Even Joker was killing this shit. Oh,
that was great. That was fucking awesome.
Good. That felt like
what a great way to end this.
It felt like Crypto in the Morning should have been streaming over that. Those were my that was great. That was a watcher of this show, I can imagine. So guys, we got a couple things going on before we sign off. I'm trying to beg and plead Silver to come on today. So I posted something and now it got a lot of tweet action. So let's post it below so we can put the pressure on Silver. Sometimes you got to use muscle, baby. Let's use that muscle of him feeling bad for not coming on the show after an explosive tweet. So guys, retweet that. I'm going to be on. I want to come on here later. If Silver comes on, we're talking Hedron and Icosa. And if I come on, we're talking Hedron and Icosa. And if Dipcatcher wants to come on at any point, he rugged me, but God will always finish them. No, I'm just kidding. No, I love Dib Catcher. He's the GOAT. And thanks for all the work you guys are doing. And let's have an amazing day today, guys. Don't stress yourself out, but make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe, and hit the bell notification, because I come on all the time. Richard's streaming tomorrow with some popular figure of some sort. You know me, I'll be covering that live.
Valuetainment, which is very big. Very
Valuetainment, guys. Valuetainment. I'm, you know me, I'm a gym rat. And
Richard Hart's going to Valuetainment
tomorrow, yeah. So guys, hey, and if you're in this chat and Richard starts going live on some platform that's like off the cusp, you make sure you hit my DMs and tell me, because for the next couple of days, like I say every day, I'll be sitting at my desk and doing push-ups and shit. So let's fucking go. I'm in hard work mode right now. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not playing around. I'm excited. Oh, we also have Jack Levin coming on potentially to talk about his new product that he's designing and coming out with. And he says it's for the people, and we, you know what, we like that. Free airdrop, hopefully. Okay, guys, great to see you. Free money coming out of all our butts. HSI auctions is going to be absolutely nuclear. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you better hit the subscribe button. Peace.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on pause. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on pause. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hacks and I'm making a stake. Got me some hedge on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. Gym rat sent me to show you the way.